A fight over SNAP records is playing out in federal court. The Trump administration wants the state of Minnesota to turn over years of data about SNAP recipients, saying it needs that information to root out fraud. But food shelves say that could put a strain on immigrant families who already hesitate to apply for these kinds of benefits. Here's Sammy.
Are you here for the food shelf?
One by one.
All right, sending 515.
Sabathani Community Center calls on those in need to choose food from its pantry.
Whatever I can't get with my food stamps, $84 a month is not enough.
Courtney Cooper
Everything is expensive.
is a SNAP recipient who still can't afford all her groceries without help.
Because I'm on disability and I get EBT, so it's kind of hard because I still run out of what I need.
And it's situations like this that raises concerns for food shelves after a federal lawsuit was filed against Minnesota and 3 other states who failed to turn over 5 years of SNAP applicant data.
We're going to have to stretch our capacity.
Sherry Green is the director of critical services for Sabathani Community Center. She says about half of the people they serve are immigrants.
People are really scared about giving over their information in general.
She's worried people won't sign up for SNAP, creating an even greater strain on food shelves when recipients still can't afford the food they need. In 2025, Minnesotans made 9 million visits to food shelves, the highest number ever recorded.
We have wraparound services here at Sabathani. Housing and food connect directly. So it's going to put stress on there. I think as long as services are restricted in some way, you're going to continue to see a gap.
The federal government said in its press release that noncompliance creates the likelihood of ongoing material waste, fraud, and abuse going undetected. A USDA report published last week shows Minnesota had a rising SNAP payment error rate, which includes both overpayments and underpayments. In 2025, it was 12.6%, about 2% higher than the national average.
I'm thinking like they should have did this a long time ago. Because a lot of people try to get over the system.
Cooper says she's glad the federal government says it's looking into waste.
Yes, I like to freeze my fruit.
And hopes services can better serve people like her.
I'm on disability and I'm struggling to try to get, day to day.
But for those who help clients like Courtney,
Good for Minnesota for not handing over that data.
Green worries the number of those who need help will climb.
All right, 517. If you have 517, you can go in.
In a statement, the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families says the demand for this volume of data is unprecedented and threatens the privacy of millions of families. In a report earlier this year, the USDA said it suspected $3 billion a year of potential fraud and waste throughout the SNAP system, though it has yet to verify that amount. Jana.
You know, Sammy, stories like this kind of bring up the two things can be true at one time, that we've got to get a handle on this fraud situation. We haven't done a good job of that as a state. But there are a lot of people that rely on these benefits to survive that did nothing wrong, and they too want to get rid of fraud.
Right, and that's what food shelf leaders say, is that unfortunately folks can get caught up in this and can kind of weaken the system for those who really rely on this.
Absolutely. We're going to talk more about this subject when we come back.